Hey everyone, am I recording? Yeah, it's your boy Terry, uh, coming to you live from the Terry Cave. I'm still all droopy-eyed. What's it all about? I'll tell you what it's all about. It's about these long weekends. Um, yeah, just karaoke late night Friday, relatively early day Saturday, getting kids to various musical projects. Then my day started about 4. Oh my God, Zena. My very good friend Sue, our keyboard player, picked me up about 4:30. I don't even know what time it was. We got to Smithville around 6. Sue was my chauffeur all weekend. Sue, I thank you very much for that because our minivan is in the shop, and my other car is a very, very old Ford Focus that's very old and has a lot of miles on it. And didn't want to leave the wife and kids without a car while I was up the road doing other stuff, especially during the big storm. But not that I would actually want them to drive that car, but I just felt better than knowing the car was there. Something terrible happened. They had a car to get into it to get at least 50 feet away from the house. Yeah, so it was that kind of day for the storm. That was what, Friday. Um, Woke up. Long story short, having car trouble with the van. We have had a coolant. It's all fixed now. I had to go pick it up. Had a coolant leak, so every time I took it somewhere, I'd put a bunch of water in it and keep my eye on the temperature gauge. Well, I was so mad at my son Owen because he told me he put water in it before I was taking them to school, and before I got home from taking Henry and all of them to school, they all go at the same time, right around 7:30. Before I got home, the engine temperature was in the red, and I was so mad at Owen for lying to me about putting water in the car and pull up in my driveway going 2 miles an hour because I don't want the motor to explode. And then it starts making a weird crunchy sound, which is never good in a car. Get out, slam it in the park, open her up, look in the water reservoir, thing's completely full. So, Owen, I retroactively retract my incredible anger I had at you. Because Owen's a good boy and he does nice things for me. He does all the cat stuff. Well, not all of it. I feed him. He does the litter, and he's a good boy like that. So I feel very bad. I already apologized to him about it too. So of course about 10 o'clock Friday, AAA towed my car over to Sunset Towing and Auto Repair. My guy I've become friends with over the years, Chuck Matthews. His automotive concern. He's from what I found the best. He's a great guy, local guy, strong ties to the Cape May area, and he's fair. His prices are fair. He doesn't gouge you. If you need something done, he'll tell you it needs done. If you don't, he'll say, "I don't worry about it. But we'll take care of it next time." So all of my cars are on sort of a, a repair plan. So every time I can't afford to get everything done at once, so it's like do the one thing that needs to get done to put it back on the road. And okay, and here's the running list of things that still need to be done. So you do the big ones first and try to knock the little ones out. I'm finally gonna get my heat fixed on my white car since I've had that since I inherited it from my late great mother, Marlene Joan. Um, as car keeps plugging along, I took it to Bloomfield, North Jersey, exit 150 and back last weekend. And I got up there on half a tank. I got home on half a tank, so it gets pretty good mileage. It's just not the car you want to count on. Anyway, that the heat has not worked in that since I brought it home in like January of 2013 after Mom passed. And it's pretty cold driving from Reading to New Jersey in the winter without a heater in your car. And every other time I've driven it afterwards, which is several thousand. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So yeah, 10 o'clock Friday morning, the minivan gets taken in, and an hour later, Armageddon strikes and the storm blows in. We lost our power around 12:30. I did not get it back until 4 a.m. I felt very, very grimy leaving my wife and children here while I went to work at Rio Station Friday night, but man's got to do what a man's got to do. And then right about sunset, right about sundown, we're in the living room. We're just looking out our front window. And no one says, "Dad, I think the tree just moved." Now we have about a 70-foot tall ish oak tree in our front yard. I was like, "Oh, what are you talking about? You mean like it's doing one of these?" He's like, "No, I think our sidewalk moved." I'm like, "Huh." So just kept my eyeball on the tree. It's like he's exaggerating, he's making it up. And then a big gust came through, hit the tree, and our entire front yard did one of these as the tree was starting to lean. I'm told in windstorms when there's leaves on the tree, especially wet leaves, they act as sails and they increase the potential energy of whatever's going into that tree and that's why a lot of trees go over more in the spring than they do in the fall, I guess, because they don't have leaves on them. Anyway, our tree doesn't have leaves on it. Because if it did, it would have, yeah, it would have gone. But still pretty. It's like watching something out of a movie because when your whole front yard starts sort of rippling, like, huh, okay. But the roots held her down, and we're gonna get her trimmed up before summertime. Our neighbor Corey Brandt, who has I'm not sure what the company's called, but it's Brandt, like lawn care, landscaping. Brandt, Brant. It's Corey Brandt. Um, our neighbors, great guys. There's about 19 little Brants running around from like uh, juniors or seniors in high school to like 4 years old. It was like 19 last I counted. It's like a whole TLC Discovery show over there. But they're all good kids and they're all very, very nice kids and very talented as well. The littlest one sings with Henry in the honors choir. Anyway, I don't really know what the point of the video was tonight. Just I haven't made one of these videos in a while, so I missed y'all. Up to 34 subscribers, I think. I'll try to get that data or data. I'll get that data before the end of the thing here. So what's going on? Yes, this past weekend, of course, Friday was karaoke. I had till about 1 o'clock. Then Saturday was our third annual Beatles open mic night in Smithville. I love that gig. It's so low pressure. And we had some open mic people arrive. We had 3 artists. They each played one time through. They played 2-3 songs each. And then we played another set, and then we had another group come in. They played like 4 songs. And then we played a short set to end the night. And, people just really like us up there. We met a couple people who apparently work in the casino industry. They're like, I know a guy. Give me your card, and we'll make sure we'll pass your card along. Of course, we have no cards. We've only been a band for 6 years and don't have cards. And every gig we play, someone says, do you have a card? And I always go, no, I don't, because I'm a big dummy. But I have a Facebook page, which is just like having a card, kind of, but you can't be impressive and hand people. I can't hand people my Facebook. And so then we got done there around 10:30, load out 11:30, back in town around 12:30, stopped for a cocktail, post-gig celebratory cocktail, and saw Bill Catarini over at the Red Brick Ale House. Bill and I have a bit of a history. We played together for about 3 years. Yeah, about 3 years we were acoustic partners. And we're playing in 2 weeks on St. Patty's Day at Carney's. That's 2 to 5, and then 7 to 10. I believe Sue's going to come. We have a Billy Joel rehearsal that weekend. So she's going to be here. I think she's going to join us and just bring her keyboard and just play on what she knows and sing on what she knows and maybe fill a couple of our sets with some of her solo tunes. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again. So we had a pretty late night Saturday just hanging out and being social. And then Sunday, and through all of this, my older boys have Shrek rehearsal at the high school. Henry has honors choir rehearsal and honors choir show. And there's never a dull. Like weekends are the worst because there's just always something happening from 8 a.m. until midnight. Sunday, of course, yesterday was the Billy Joel rehearsal. I'm really happy with this new lineup. You all guys all saw the full lineup this time with Sue on. She's sort of our secondary keyboard player, and she plays some sax and some flute. I had to take those videos down yesterday because I got one email from YouTube saying there may be a copyright issue, so I just took them all down. I kind of knew I was going to have to. You just got to be careful with that on YouTube. If you get too many copyright, they call them strikes. They can take your channel down. We did a couple of live streams. I'm not sure if it's little live streams. Those were pretty good too. It's just a fun band. It's a nice vibe about this band. Everyone's just really laid back, really cool. And my favorite thing in the world, they all come prepared. I don't care if you make a physical mistake, like playing baseball. Every once in a while, the shortstop's going to boot one, or the third baseman's going to throw it over the first baseman's head. Those mistakes you can live with. It's the mental mistakes I really have an issue with, which is just do your homework. Come in doing your homework, know what you're doing, or at least have an idea what you're doing, be able to get through the song. And that's a big deal for me. There are many people in my current bands and many people who are no longer in my current bands who can tell you I'm a pretty big stickler on preparation. Some of them even still talk to me. So that was that, and now it's Monday, and then last night just kind of came home, and what did we do? We watched some of the Oscars. I don't really watch the Oscars anymore because they don't nominate movies that I see or care about. Not that they're bad movies. They're just movies that, when your movie going annual budget is about 4 movies a year, you don't go see Moonlight or Lady Bird. You go see Black Panther and the Avengers with your kids. Although we have a secret movie watching device in our house, and we just watched Lady Bird, and that's actually a pretty great movie. I'm not sure it's Best Picture, but it was pretty good. I saw Shape of Water recently too, and it's a good movie. It's Black Best Picture. Um, I saw Get Out, really good. That was of those three that I've seen. That's probably my favorite one. Although I did also see Dunkirk, which I thought was a very solid B plus movie. The Best Picture, it's not Saving Private Ryan, even though that didn't even win, did it? That was the year Shakespeare in Love won everything, because He Who Shall Remain Nameless started his first Oscar campaign for his very small movie that had no business beating Saving Private Ryan, but yet somehow did. Um, so that was last night. I don't know how low my voice is reading on here, but it feels like my voice is really low because I've been using it a lot this weekend, in the last couple weeks. And I look like this because A, I didn't have power for 24 hours, basically, and my beard trimmer died. So now the battery's in there charged, so I can't trim anything. And I can't trim this, and just shaving this without trimming it first is just torture. Um, so probably sometime this week I'll get rid of all this. Um, I'm just getting too old for these weekends, I was still recovering from I recovered from the Massachusetts trip around Thursday, and then the turnaround starts for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday gauntlet. And it's going to take me till about Wednesday to recover from this past weekend. Although I did not drive to the bus. I didn't do a walking and talking video, but I did walk to the bus stop today to get Henry, and we walked back. And it's such a pathetically short distance that I feel bad bragging about it. But it was just that little bit I'm just trying to take those little extra steps of more conscientious towards what I'm eating, get a little bit more exercise. I don't eat fried potato snacks anymore. I have the puffed cheese snacks, because those are the snacks. If you have to have something to crunch sometimes, which I kind of do, it's either pork rinds, which are zero carbs but really gross, or like the puffed cheese or the cheese crunch snacks are the sort of lowest carb snack you can get. And because I don't love puffed cheese snacks, I don't eat them as often. And I kind of replaced that with, a handful of peanuts or 19 little handfuls of sunflower seeds. Yeah, so I'm really off track. Our friend Aaron, who is a subscriber and a patron on the Patreon, thank you. The first Patreon went through yesterday, I believe, and I really appreciate that. And I'm going to sort of keep that money earmarked. I know it's like 55 after they do their processing fees and take taxes out, because I did like an online W-4 and all that. It's like $54 and change. So that's going to go kind of over here and go towards the items that we need to get Downton Stabby open at Iron Pier, which I'll get into in just a minute. That's really appreciated. And if you have any friends or family you think might be interested in supporting the arts, I know that Patreon page says my goal is $500 a month. That's my first goal. There are actually 4 goals in there: $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month. For $2,000 a month, I'm just putting your initials in the production company, and you're part of the production company. I think ideally I'd like to get to about $1,000 a month to invest in new sound, audio, and video equipment, and start building, acquiring the tools that you need to sort of start in film and television production. And I think the $1,000 a month goal is just about the right goal because if I get that, then the $1,000 a month isn't coming out of my pocket. That goes into my mortgage and all that, and that $1,000 just goes straight towards acquiring technology and being able to pay talent, of course. I got off track again, though. Oscars, yeah, I guess The Shape of Water, the sexy fish movie won. Again, saw it, good. It's fine. I sort of lost faith in the Oscars the year that The Incredibles or Spider-Man 2 or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind were not nominated. I think that was like 2002 or 2003. Very jazzed for Incredibles 2, by the way. I was talking about Erin, Clorox Annie, we'll call her. She is on a scooter with a bad foot. She's got a foot problem. She's taking care of it one step at a time. It's a little foot pun humor, which I'm known for. But she's hoping that'll clear up in a couple of months. And if you want to leave a nice comment for Erin, encouraging her on her trip to wellness, you may do so. Wow, I need a haircut. Look at that. Look how shaggy I'm getting back here. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, where am I? I haven't weighed myself in a couple, since the day after I started the weight loss challenge. I haven't weighed myself, so I have no idea what I weigh. But I still have that note in here to see. There's my notes. So so I will at least touch on it every week, even if it's to say, hey, I didn't weigh myself this week. But I have my starting weight in there, which, look, you can find it. Nope, no, I'm not doing it again. I will try to do a walking. I'll try to do a walking video tomorrow when I go get Henry off the bus. If I don't have to do other, it's a whole thing. Shrek at the high school is St. Patty's weekend. That Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My oldest boy, 16, plays Prince Farquaad, the diminutive little guy. And if you had the theater, I'm already at 15 minutes. I haven't talked about anything. The stage version, the Broadway version. If you've seen it, you know how hilarious that part is, and his costume, because he's a very short person. They do a little special effect for that. And then boy just turned 15. He plays a few guys in the chorus, and then he is the big bad wolf, which has a little twist at the end. It's just perfect for Jackson, or boy 15. Sorry, I'm not sure if I should use their names or not. Anyway, there's that. I got 2 more links to that Beatles video. So I've had enough. I've had enough of that Beatles video with the young guys in the subway. Do you hear me, world? Enough. I look really mean and grumpy with a beard, don't I? I'm still going to work on the Robert Crace thing. That's one of my notes I have. I'll do some... Maybe I'll sit down tomorrow and work on that. Downton Stabby had a meeting at the Iron Pier on Thursday with Kevin Ebner. He of the K of TKO Productions. The big takeaways there are we're definitely doing it, but the date has changed. We're moving the show from one Sunday a month to one Thursday a month, starting on the 26th of April, I believe is the date. Whatever that Thursday is after the 22nd, that was going to be our opening night. It's going to be the 26th now. It's about a 40-seat capacity. I think 40 is optimistic. We could probably push it to 50 if we had to get a few more tables in there. But if you know Iron Pier at all, if you remember it from the days of Martini Beach, that main dining area isn't that large. And it's got the beautiful balcony and that beautiful bar, but we're not incorporating that. So we think 40 is going to just about do it for the dinner theater shows. So you'll want to get in reservations in early and often. And if there's lots of people out there who have been wondering what I'm going to do if there's anything theater involved, I've been on the Facebook. But if you know anyone who's in my camp, hey, did you hear Terry's doing a show here? Feel free to spread that word. That won't bother me at all. I will give you my birthday story tomorrow, I promise, because tomorrow is actually day 1 of my 3-day birthday celebration, which I will explain to you in full tomorrow. It's a very funny story involving my very loving but sometimes very daft mother. God rest her soul. She was the dearest, sweetest woman, but she had a couple of memory things. Not those kind, not like bad memory, but just, a mom of 6 in the 70s and 80s. It's just, there's a lot to remember. I have 3, and I'm pulling my hair out, metaphorically. Anyway, if you want a Beatles t-shirt and did not get one, I have 7 left. 6 or 7 left. 4 2X, 1X, and 2 small, something like that. I'm just going to keep them in the car with me all the time, going back and forth to karaoke. So if you come to a karaoke on Friday, or you just see me out and about, $15 takes one home. If you got 10, I'll take 10. At this point, if we're at Wawa and you see me, I think a cup of coffee and maybe a Sizzly gets you a t-shirt. Anyway, main takeaway, Downton Stabby definitely happening. It's definitely happening at the restaurant. I should do these in the afternoon when I'm a little more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. April 26th, Downton Stabby premieres at the Iron Pier. It's going to be very similar to the show we ran at the theater that should not be named a few years back, but different-ish. Okay. Oh, I can erase this note about 3/3 being the Beatles night in Smithville. Now I guess the next thing coming up I have is St. Patty's Day, as I mentioned, at Carney's with Bill Catarini. After that is going to be Billy Joel night on March 31st. You'll be hearing me talk a lot about Billy Joel coming up. I'm still working on the podcasting. I have too many balls in the air right now, too many irons in the fire. Once we get the show into production and close to opening, I'll be able to, I really want to get that podcast going. I'm gonna get that done. Song recommendation. A song recommendation of the week. I have nothing prepared. Let me just think off the top of my... You know what? It was Billy Joel Day yesterday, and one of my favorite unsung Billy Joel songs is called Laura. It's off of the album Nylon Curtain, which I believe was 1982. 80 was Glass Houses. I believe 81 was Songs in the Attic. I might have those juxtaposed. Then it was Nylon Curtain. Then it was An Innocent Man, sort of his doo-wop homage. Glass Houses was his rock and roll album. Had You May Be Right and Still Rock and Roll to Me on it. He's really trying to be Elvis Costello on that, and John Lennon on that record. Then Nylon Curtain is very much just in tone and in production a Beatles homage. He was hugely influenced by the Beatles, as just about every American musician of a certain age. And then Innocent Man, of course, was his doo-wop album that had An Innocent Man, of course, on it, and the a cappella one, Oh, for the longest time. And we'll be playing both those songs on the 31st. That's a pretty solid run of albums there. And then he went into, I think after that was The Bridge. With The Bridge, you could just sort of tell he was starting on the decline. I want to say that was 84, maybe 86, as it was our junior prom theme in 87, the song This Is the Time. Then he only did Stormfront and River of Dreams after that. He only made, I think, 12 albums, 121 songs. We'll go into how I know all that later, too. And I'm going to close up the night with, I believe we're still at 33, that's right, I looked earlier, 33 subscribers, up to 40 hours of consumed content. And this video by itself is going to be another 40 hours if I don't shut up and get off of here. But I am, if you can see here, I'm rewatching the final episode of MASH, because I believe either today, or I believe, yeah, today. MASH was on Monday nights, right? Today is the 35th anniversary of the final episode of MASH, which to this day, by percentage of population, is still the single most watched episode of television in the history of the medium. And 35 years later, that's still, with all the giant things that have happened in that time, good and bad, that still stands up. It was the days of 3 networks and PBS. Then you had Channel 17 and 48 where I was growing up, where I'd watch cartoons every morning and Abbott and Costello movies every Sunday, followed by Creature Double Feature with Dr. Shock and Igor. I did a play with Igor. Igor was very into me, which was a new experience for me. I was an adult at that time, don't worry. But hey, I used to watch you on TV. No, I don't want to go on a date, but I'm going to go now. So there he is, the immortal Jamie Farr, as we sign off for the evening, Monday, March 5th, 2018. I'm Walter Cronkite, and that's the way it is. Until next time, be good.